Are you ready to have a blast from the past? The second chilled out video in a whole line of chilled out videos that we're going to put out in Youth Squad Legends before we play some games. Last time out it was a season review. This time we're having a look at ex-players. Next time we're going to have a look at the transfers that's happened in the 2 years of simulation, which we finally complete. And then afterwards we are going to do the best of the rest, which shows off every other really good player from the save. And we're going to have something very special in that episode as well, which means that you guys could potentially have the chance of getting a certain player into the club. You will have that opportunity. But enough about that. That's to come. It's a blast from the past. It's a nice, relaxing video. I've already written down all the players and which clubs they are at right now, so we can look at the teams in a bit more detail where they're at. We've got a save in 2023 and this one in 2025, so we can see exactly where they're positioned in both of them years. Here we go. Someone wanted Hugh Baker. He was the second choice keeper right at the start of the save. The only reason why they wanted to have Hugh Baker involved in this list is because I think, and he believes, that he played centre-back in one of the games. Now, I should know this kind of thing, but it's been a long series, and I do kind of recall a goalkeeper playing centre-back, and that goalkeeper probably was Hugh Baker. So he's a 69, he's a free agent. Some of these are free agents. They've not got clubs since, which is sad to say at the least. But there's a list of clubs here that we'll have to go through. Hugh Baker, sadly, isn't one of them. Goalkeeper kicking at 85, that's his best stat. Owen Thomas, he is Burton Albion. Very nice, 69 overall, best stat on that board, marking at 79. I'll have a look at the Burton boys in a bit more detail. David Moore, his overall is 73, centre-back valuation at 2.1 million. Huge strength. I know the fans really wanted him to stay for a while, and then it was just a case of the club outgrowing him. So that's a shame. Well, there he is, David Moore. Best stat on their sprint speed at 91. Harry Mishu, the American, joined Blackburn Rovers. Overall of 76, valuation of £3.7 million. Best stat on the board, jumping at 91, and he's got another dark green there, marking at 81. And then we get on to the legend, Abdallah El Shenawi. Egyptian centre-back, 69 overall, playing for Preston North End, valuation of £700,000. His best stat, slide tackle at 76. But I remember definitely training him throughout maybe the championship season, maybe just before that. We had a couple of years in the championship, I think. Did we not? Anyway, it was around that time that we definitely trained him up. That's the reason why his marking, slide tackle and standing tackle are so far above anything else on that technical side. Mind you, that being said, he's a centre-back, so they should be ahead of anything on that technical side. Luke Wright, no one actually put him in the comments section. I guess he's a forgettable name, he's a forgettable face. It's a shame because he played a lot through the start of the series before really Macias and Donald Fanning, especially that Provoc, came into play. But there he is. Luke Wright, he's 72, he's playing for Charlton Athletic now. He's got some good stats. Give him credit for something. Jumping at 82 is his only dark green. Yeah, he's there. I know a lot of people don't care about him because no one put him in the comment section, but I care about you, Luke. Here's Martin Rangelov, 65 overall. His acceleration and crossing are his best stats on the board. Amazingly, marking at 65, even though he was the absolute worst defender I've ever seen at marking. he was 10 miles away from the person that he should be marking. It was like, where are you going? You are supposed to be at left back. I wonder if LB means something else to him. Put your comments down below. Also, this is serious. You know that you guys had to put the names of everybody that you wanted to see in this episode down in the comment sections of last episode. Well, I want you to do something very similar in this episode. Down in the comment section, I want you to give loads of customization options to players that we're bringing in, transfers that are coming into the club. We've had loads of transfers coming into the club, and I want to customise them before the start of the season. I don't want kit numbers. Kit numbers can be left out, but maybe the tightness of the shirt. Do you want it loose? Do you want it tight? Untucked or not tucked? How about wristbands, sweatbands, gloves? You name it. Think of anything. But I want more detailed other than I want someone to have a tight kit. You've got to have, say for instance, one comment saying tight kit, a certain pair of boots, long socks, you know, a whole profile for a certain player. You can do that as many times as you want, just different varieties of customization. And I will randomly pick a number. I don't know how many signings we've made, but I will randomly pick a number of those comments and we'll go forward with that. I'm going to choose the kit numbers myself because obviously if you're going to go, I'll have number 2 and then I randomly select number 2 for a striker. It doesn't look right. So I will choose the kit numbers myself. Everything else, you'll have the option, you'll have the choice, just so long as you get randomly selected. So that was Martin Rangelov. I know a lot of people wanted to see him, so I just stood there for a long time whilst we talked about comments. Liam Rose, 65 overall. I mean, they're literally the same player. I mean, yeah, different, I guess, but I mean, they are the same overall. But one was great, one was shocking. Liam Rose, the club outgrew him. Simple as. If say, Torrejon Moya was still 70 and below, I would choose Liam Rose over Torrejon Moya, but Torrejon Moya definitely had a better shell to develop, and that's the reason why he carried on being at the club, and now he's a Premier League winner, and sadly Liam Rose is at Exeter City. However, if Liam Rose did have a good shell, if he had like acceleration and sprint speed up, if he had better technicals apart from the defensive side, then we might have been talking a very good player indeed. But he was a very low potential player. We forced him into the position. I think we trained him a lot through the time that he was actually playing. Surely through them technicals, we've definitely trained him a decent amount. There is Liam Rose. Valuation, £375,000. His best stat on the board, this too, slide tackle and sprint speed. Thomas Amiot, the best on the list here. People might be questioning why the hell he's the best on the list. Please be patient with me. 80 overall, valuation of 15.5 million. His strength is 93. It's his best one on the board. With some good stats on there. 88 short pass, 82 slide tackle. We got the physicals there, sprint, speed, balance, stamina, all above 80. And ball control, 83. Now, we expected him to be an 80 overall plus. To be fair, I wanted more from him. I wanted to see more than 80 from him. He's still an unbelievable player. I think maybe 2023 Leeds United did get relegated from the Premier League. We'll have to check that. I don't know. See if Thomas Amiot survived it. But I remember playing Leeds United. I put Amiot on the field. Remember putting Amiot on the field. Diego Vezaga. Or did I put Amiot on the field? Maybe in the first game. Maybe. The second game he was a bit too tired. I know Nordmark was a bit too tired when he was playing for Man United. So, I don't know. There was a couple of these that were breaking through the first team. Diego Vezaga. Another one at Barnet. He's a 64 overall. 29 years old. Look how far we've come. Diego Vezaga was only a babby when we started him in that first ever game. Let me just take a drink. Right. His best one on the board, I think, through looking at that, is 69 stamina. You know, he's got a lot of dark yellows. I mean, he's just a very, very League 2 player. That is perfect League 2 standards right there, isn't it? Miguel Yotun, destroyed by injuries. Oh my God, he's 30 years old. He's 30 years old, lads. That's insane. We've got to a point in the save where our first ever players are 30 years old. Man. Anyway, Miguel Yotun's career, it was dashed really through a string of injuries, or else we could have been looking at a Malachias Jr. Such a shame. There's a couple of people who have had no luck whatsoever in this save, and Miguel Yotun was a part of it. However, the big positive is that he's playing with Exeter City alongside Liam Rose, so it's nice to have that kind of generation gap between the two players at Exeter City. They both played for Crewe Alexandra, but at different times, and they can share their experience with one another, which is very nice to see. Kevin Ray, Stucky. He was Stucky Volume 2 because it literally looked like him, but it looked like the soul and the life had been sucked out of him completely. And that was really the reason why we sold him in the first place. He just looked too much like Stucky. It was so weird. It's nothing that I like, really, because there's so many different variations of faces, and to get two of the same, really, you know, distinctive faces as well, and you got two of the same in one save. In fact, I got double. I got another pair. We got Papa Baby and Squeezy as well, but that's more to come on that later when we do the transfers in the next episode. So yeah, Kevin Ray, he went. Also Stucky went as well, so we've not got that face cherishing and lighting up our days at Crewe Alexandra anymore, sadly. But Stucky was unbelievable, wasn't he? We'll get on to Stucky in a second. There you are. So Kevin Ray, Blackburn Rovers, £3 million. Best stats, long pass at 85. On to Wayne Hunt. He hates QPR. Absolutely hates QPR. Grandson of Formula 1 driver James Hunt. I think that was the story, wasn't it? God, them backstories were ridiculous. And that's the reason why I stopped them, by the way. I love the fact they had the headband on in the picture. He doesn't have the headband on in game, which is sad. Now, I was looking at a couple of Afro guys, the guys that had Afros in their picture here. And I'm like, oh, please give me an Afro. I'd love to have an Afro, and they just didn't have one. I'm like, well, that's a waste. So, yeah. Wayne Hunt, hairstyle on point in the picture, wasn't in the game. However, we'll always remember him for the long shot goal against QPR. Solid player, must be said. He was a solid player for when he played. But we just had better centre mids. Got to a point where we just had better centre mids. Mirga Tashdemir, he's a 77 overall. You know, give him some credit. He has grown very nicely. 77, 26 years old, £6 million. Excuse me. Let me have another drink. It's hard work, this commentary business. So that's Tashdemir, the Turkish centre mid. His best start on the board is 87 ball control. But look how many greens he's got. This is a solid player. And a really good one for Burton Albion. But we'll see what they've done with him. Have they got promoted into the Championship? Remember, they were in League 1 when we gave them these players. Have they got promoted into the Championship? That's the big question. Archie Davis. Now, this is a blast from the past. His first 6 months at the club were outstanding. He scored, I think, a wonderful goal, maybe. Long shot? Anyway, forget that. He had a great 6 months. Hopes were up for him. And then he did nothing. He floundered, and now he's at Cheltenham Town. What a flop. He could have had everything. He had Crewe Alexandra in the palm of his hands. We were feasting on his delightfulness. That's a great phrase, by the way. Feasting on his delightfulness. But we were doing exactly that, and then he just let it go. What were you doing, man? What were you doing? So there he is. His best stats. He was a defensive midfielder, if you can see his stats there. At standing tackle at 81. Flavio Tavares. Yes, mate. So, Flavio Tavares, I'll give you a little bit of an insight. He wasn't said by any of you guys. He was the only first starting 11 that I'd ever put out. He was the only player that wasn't mentioned in the comments section. You got some nerve. Plays for Longford Town now in Ireland. 62 overall. His best stat there is dribbling, so he's more of an attack-minded midfielder. Nils Bullock, what a guy. Scorer of some unbelievable goals. I always remember that kind of Zidane-esque volley into the top corner. I think at the end of this series I might have a competition of who scored the best goal in the series, and I'll probably move it on and take it on to like that Youth Squad Excellence Award right at the end of the series. End of FIFA 17 altogether with Barmer and DK. Hopefully we do get that all sorted, fingers crossed. Yes, so Nils Bullock. I just look at him. The hairstyle on the picture. Unfortunately, we didn't get that hairstyle in game. We did get the face though. I do recognise that is a very similar face to what he had in game, but his hair was a lot shorter. Maybe this was his teenage years where he was going all rock. He was a big fan of rock. There you go. Sprint speed 79, his best stats. And maybe that was the reason why he was so good on the wing, maybe? Because he had that sprint speed of 79, even though his acceleration wasn't that great. Just a solid player. I love Nils Bullock. Nils Bullock is one of my guys. Also one of my guys, Theo Stuckey at 73. Left mid, 25. A lot of people want me to bring him back. I just don't know. I just don't know. Because if we bring him back, he's only going to sit around and watch the Champions League on the bench, isn't he? And like I said, I did say when we were selling these players that what is the point of having them around and comparing them to players that we've already got when they could have a career of themselves and move on from Crewe Alexandra the way that we really should allow people to have that opportunity to make their own careers. So I don't know if bringing them back for a Champions League final, a bench place, is the right thing. But there's Theo Stuckey, 73 overall, 25 years old. Tell me in the comments section, I'll listen to him, tell me in the comments section what you think about getting Stuckey back. Make it a bit informative. Because if you just go, oh, you're a dick for not bringing Stuckey back, then I won't listen to you. But make it informative. Tell me exactly why Theo Stuckey should be brought back. And if it's a compelling argument, then I will bring him back for that Champions League final. Okay? Okay. Best start on the board, finishing 81, 73 overall. 2.6 million, only 25 years old. Thought Theo Stuckey was going to be a little bit older than that. Amazingly, think about it this way. There was a 5-year gap between Miguel Yotun and Theo Stuckey right at the start of the game save. Right at the start of it. So, Theo Stuckey must have been 16 with Yotun being 21 at the time. That's crazy. There's Theo Stuckey. Excellent stuff. Bradley Morgan. Yeah. I mean, he was a good finisher. He was a really good finisher. I didn't even look at his board then. I'm not really surprised that his finishing's up at 72. Best start on the board, acceleration 80, sprint speed 77, a quick winger. Look at that. But he just didn't do enough on the wings, maybe because of his strength being at 44. Just every time that I tried to get him past a player, it just didn't seem clean enough. But it's not to say that he wasn't a good finisher. There you go. And I tell you what, if Bradley Morgan was given that job of playing up front instead of Theo Stuckey, if he was the lucky one to play up front, maybe it could have finished better for Bradley Morgan. Who knows? That's for an alternate universe, like different dimension to know, and for us not to. Evelyn Nascimento da Costa. Da Costa's from a care home. Da Costa's from a care home. Na 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 na. And whilst we're at it, players to the left of him, players to the right. He's our man, stuck in the middle for Crewe. Have we got any more? Liam Rose. There's only one Owen Thomas. One Owen Thomas. He used to be shy, but now he's alright. Walking into Thomas Wonderland. I think we got a couple more, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. Did we have one for Nils Bullock? I don't think we did. That's a travesty. Evelyn Nascimento da Costa. Was that where we were? There he is, short pass, 72. He's at Barnet with Ranglov and Vezaga, so they've really become the team of the first 11 that we ever brought out. Amazing. Ranglov, Vezaga and da Costa still playing for the same team. Outstanding stuff. Alexandre Mireles. Yes. He was a lost cause, really. Could have been something special. Didn't realise it until it was too late, unfortunately. Physicals and sprint speed were not that bad. If we did train him up, say, instead of maybe Liam Rose or someone who wasn't going to make it anyway, maybe Mireles could have got to a 70 plus, and then he might have put the performances in, and then we might have even got him to an 80 through this simulation. But there you go. It's all ifs and buts. And it didn't happen at the end of the day. His best start on the board, sprint speed at 82. Peter Berry with the awful hair. It's not bad in the photo, actually. I'll give you credit, Peter. You've actually made it today, which is great. But usually it's a bedhead. Usually these bits sticking out. One piece was floating in midair. I remember. That was crazy. Let me take a drink. Yes. So 25 years old, 66 overall with a valuation of £600,000. Yes. Acceleration is his best stat on the board at 80. Nagisa Suchio, he is the man. Everybody loves Nagisa Suchio. I think he was the main guy in the comment section. Obviously, a lot of people wanted to see Stuckey, but Nagisa Suchio was a fan favourite, a cult hero. Am I right in saying he was a cult hero? I would go that far, actually. I really would go that far. He scored our first goal in the championship, I think, with a header? Could you imagine Suchio standing at 5'6", won the header? Pretty sure that happened. It was like from 1 yard out, he couldn't miss. 72 overall, best start on the board, 90 for agility. He's got decent acceleration, but his technicals were just lacking. And he moved on. Sadly, we have to move people on. Fortunately, I can give you a bit of credit, alright, and I can give you a bit of comfort. That's it, comfort is the right word that I was going for. We have got a central attacking midfielder from Japan in the squad. We've got the next Nagisa Suchio in the squad right now. And I can't wait for you to show. I can't wait for me to show them you. However, you're going to have to wait until next episode, unfortunately. Yeah, and I think it's going to be there's going to be a 2-day gap, and then on the 3rd day the episode's going to come out because I've got some kind of graphic work to do for it to show the progression of the players that have stayed in the club. Some progression has been already shown on Twitter, which you can have a look and enjoy what's already there. You also get a little hint and a taster of who's actually been brought back into that Crewe Alexandra team. But please don't spoil it down in the comment section. Let the guys who only watch my YouTube enjoy the dramas of next episode. Logan McCull, the only player, if I'm right in saying, look at that sprint speed at 98. The only player in the series to score a bicycle kick, if I remember correctly. It wasn't a clean one. If I'm right, you know what? If this memory's good, then I need like A's and stickers on my chest. I need badges. I need some kind of medal. If this is right, Logan McCull scored that bicycle kick. Remember, it was way back in the series, so if I get this wrong, don't blame me. But I think he scored it against Exeter. He scored it against Exeter. There you go. One for you to find out, guys. Tadej Tredina, Tadej Tredina, literally just made that chant up on the spot. Still playing for Shrewsbury at 64 overall, 29 years old, valuation at £350,000. The doctor is in the house. Ball control, 74, dribbling 72, the only 2 greens on the board right there. Yeah, he was very, very awful. But people loved him because he was that bad. There are a lot of people that are completely loved and engulfed by the fans, taken to their hearts because of just how bad they are. And Tadej Tredina was one of them. Mateo Herrera, we're getting to the end of the list, my goodness. Mateo Herrera, Sheffield United, 74 overall. Remember correctly, he's gone then weak for a 5-star and the skill moves are 4. Insane player. Acceleration and dribbling, both at 83, but the best one of the lot on that board, shot power, there at 84. Mauricio Farias. Now, you're going to hate me for this. You're really going to hate me for this. Before someone put it down in the comment section, I had completely forgot about Farias. I know. I'm so sorry. But I guess that was his problem. The fact that every time he played, or most of the time that he played, there were at least 2 strikers standing in his way, standing in front of him in the spotlight. He did his job. I'm not going to say. I remember him now very clearly that he very much did his job, scored plenty of goals, looked the part, but he hardly had the potential. There were definitely players like Nordmark and Rico Gonzalez that had way more in their locker, way more potential, and to give us hope for the future. And that's why we said goodbye to Farias. That's why I couldn't remember him at all, because our hopes, our dreams were pinned on other players. But he's still a really good player. He's going to play second fiddle at Sunderland. I know that Sunderland have got a potential to be special striker now. From Uruguay, I presume it's a Suarez region. But his weak foot and skill moves are only 2-star apiece. I'm sure we'll see him in the best of the rest. If we don't do that, then we'll see him during the next season. I'm sure of it. I'll tell you much more about the player and show you his face and his name. The final one here, the only one that I absolutely am certain that has been transferred after being transferred out of Crewe Alexandra, is Glenn Forrester, because we sold him to an English team and now he's at Augsburg. 73 overall striker. I enjoyed Glenn Forrester. I think he did bits for us, but he was very much like Farias in the terms of, before someone put it down in the comment section, I completely forgot about Glenn Forrester, because my attention is all drawn on Nordmark, Rico Gonzalez, and the players that we got right now, Bonaventura. And Glenn Forrester kind of faded away, which it's a shame. But it's nice to see him play for Augsburg. He could have played for like a League 2 side. But no, he's at Augsburg. Very good on him. And he's the only one? Oh no, Nils Bullut and Forrester, they're playing outside of the UK and Ireland. One's playing in Ireland, everybody else playing in England. Yeah. So that's it. That is the whole list. Glenn Forrester's best stat, 93 sprint speed, valuation of 2.7 million. We are now in 2023, so we are around the season review time here. We've got the full standings of that season. You see, it was very late when I was sorting out the end of the simulation, and I've mistakenly saved over right at the end of the 2024 to 25 campaign. So we haven't got the full stats from that campaign. However, we can load it up at the start of the year and see where the clubs are, which leagues they're in, even though they haven't played a single game. However, let's have a look at the season that we just played 2 years ago and see where the clubs were. We go to England first. There we are, Crewe Alexandra beating Swansea City. And if we go down here, we had Leeds United, who just survived the drop. Just survived it that year. So Amio did his job at central defence and midfield. And we got Sunderland there. The Farias of Sunderland with in 13th with 48 points. So that is it for the players in the Premier League. Let's go down to the Championship. We've got Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Norwich. We go down the list. Have we got anybody? Wouldn't it have been amazing if Wayne Hunt actually joined QPR after all that? That would have been so funny. Wolves, Ipswich, Fulham, Reading, Huddersfield, Burnley, Blackburn Rovers. I know that we've got players in. Let's have a look at that. So Blackburn Rovers, Harry Mishu and Kevin Ray played for Blackburn Rovers. They had a mid-table kind of season. But Preston North End and Charlton Athletic, El Shinawi and Luke Wright both went down in the season just gone. What a shame. Anybody else? Is Millwall in this division? It doesn't look like Millwall's in this division. Sheffield United look like they're in League 1. There you go, Sheffield United. They got promoted. Mateo Herrero got promoted in 2023. That's great news, even though it's very possible that they went down the next season. But we'll kind of wipe that away. Millwall, mid-table in 11th. But there's Burton Albion. What a weird one that was. Mid-table, even though they got Tash Demir, a decent Tash Demir. Of course, Theo Stuckey, the wonderful legend that he is. Shrewsbury? Look at Shrewsbury. I think they got promoted with us from League 2. And they've stayed in League 2. They've stayed in League 1. Tredina is in League 1. That is crackers. Down at the bottom, Fleetwood Town, Doncaster, Blackpool, Swindon. They're not in there. Cheltenham, I'm just trying to make sure that I get everybody here. And I think I have. So League 2, we'll have a look. Let's go from bottom. Cheltenham, I knew. Cheltenham Town with Archie Davis finished 23rd. No one's playing for Grimsby, which is quite a relief, actually. Bradford City down there in 22nd. What's happened to them? Wow, that is a drop-off if you've ever seen one. Newport County, Morecambe. And then Exeter City with Liam Rose and Yotun. They might be sharing days gone by at Crewe Alexandra together, but they're not doing it on the pitch. They're not giving all they got on the pitch. Barnet, oh my word. but it finished higher than Liam Rose's Exeter City. Rangelov, Zaga and Da Costa. So it does. Rangelov was better than Liam Rose. No. No. You can't do that. We can't be saying that. I'm sorry. And that, I think, that is all for the English teams. That is insane. How on earth? Exeter, you're laying the side down. Oh, man. That's. I've got a bad taste in my mouth from that. France, Germany. Alright, let's have a look at this. Eintracht Frankfurt are in the Bundesliga. They finished 14th. Nils below. You should be very proud of that. Augsburg, on the other hand. Oh, they got promoted. But was it with Forrester? Actually, let's have a look. We can have a look to see if Forrester was in that team or not. Maybe as they come up, maybe that's when they went, well, we need to get a striker in. Let's buy Forrester. Because he's definitely playing. Oh, he was playing with Doncaster. You see, I knew he played in England. So Augsburg came up and then snatched Glenn Forrester from Doncaster. Right, where did Doncaster finish then? Time to check. I wish it were a bit quicker. It's a bit sluggish, isn't it? Colombia, Denmark, England, League 2, League 1. Doncaster got relegated. Wow. So what happened? Augsburg got promoted and they went, we need a striker, let's get someone who just got relegated from League 1. Okay. If that's how you want it to work, then go ahead. Go ahead, mate. Let's go to the Republic of Ireland, the final stop then on this mammoth journey, the blast from the past. And we need to have a look at Longford Town. They had a mid-table finish with 38 points. Tavares, there we are. Flavio Tavares, still waving the flag for Crewe. What a man. Let's go into 2025 now and see where those teams are. I'm going to cut here actually, and I'm going to write down what leagues they were in 2023 and see if there's any changes. So, see you in a second. We've now gone back to 2025, the start of the 2025 to 26 season. Let's see if any of the teams have changed since then. So Sunderland, I can see immediately, they stayed in the Premier Division. However, it looks like Leeds United and Thomas Amio finally got kicked out of here. They're in the Championship, yes they are. In the 14th position alphabetically. Down here as well, last time out, Fulham, Blackburn Rovers, Preston and Charlton. And it looks like all of them are there instead of, well, except Preston North End. They seem to have gone down and stayed down in League 1. Burton Albion there, League 1. There's Preston North End, 17th. Obviously, a ball has not been kicked in this season. Sheffield United down there, even though they got promoted in 2023. Shrewsbury, somehow. I don't get this. Tredina's playing League 1 football. What is that? Millwall, Suchia, still in League 1. A lot of our players have settled in League 1, it seems. And then we go to League 2. All the League 2 teams stay in League 2. So that's Barnet and Cheltenham. Is there another one? No, Barnet and Cheltenham are the... Oh! Exeter City as well. Barnet, Cheltenham and Exeter City all stay in League 2. You can notice here that Doncaster, Glenn Forrester's old team, went back up into League 1. Even having a terrible season in 2023. They might have invested more in their squad after the sale of Glenn Forrester. Who knows? Last stop here on our massive journey. We go onto the Bundesliga. We can see Augsburg survived and stayed in the Bundesliga. And we've also got... Where is it? Eintracht Frankfurt there as well. 8th and 9th place. before the season start. So, Nils Bullock and Glenn Forrester showing the Crewe Alexandra, waving the Crewe Alexandra flag in the Bundesliga, so to speak. Of course, there's Flavio Tavares in Ireland as well, but we don't really need to show the Irish League because there's not a relegation promotion situation going on there. So, go on, Flavio. I really care about Flavio. I care about him more now than I've ever done because no one put him down in the comments section. The only person in the first ever first 11 for Crewe Alexandra in this series to not be put down in the comments section. I feel so sorry for him. But I now feel for him. I think he's a hero. In my eyes, he's a hero now. This has been Cutsy. Thank you for watching. It's going to be a couple of days until the next episode. I'm going to make sure that everything I do within the next episode, the transfers, all the graphic work that goes alongside it, is spot on. To make it a lot more enjoyable for you guys. I really do hope you've enjoyed us looking back at players from the past, players that have really got Crewe Alexandra to this situation, and some that have tried to jeopardise us, really. I'm looking at you, Rangelov. If you've enjoyed it, then please give the video a like, and I will see you next time.